I want to walk you through a really cool and practical business idea today. We're going to break down a complete blueprint for starting a high-demand, low-code AI voice agency that's built specifically for the Indian market. This is a real, actionable plan to build a business from scratch.
So let's kick things off with a question that I bet every single entrepreneur in India has felt deep in their bones. What is that one constant, nagging problem that keeps business owners up at night? And no, it's not sales or marketing. It's something way more fundamental.
And there it is. That's the one. The absolute nightmare of trying to run a customer support department that is always on. I mean, think about it. Hiring enough people to be available 24/7 is just crazy expensive, totally exhausting, and a massive drain on your resources.
Yeah, this is what we call the support headache. There's this immense pressure to be there for your customers all the time, right? But the cost, not just in money, but in pure manpower and energy, can honestly be crippling, especially for our small and medium-sized businesses.
You know what's really wild about this whole challenge? It's just how repetitive it is. We're talking about human beings spending their entire day answering the same 5 or 6 questions over and over and over again. What are your fees? What time does the next class start? How do I give feedback? It's the definition of inefficiency.
But what if there was a way to just solve this problem for good? Well, this is where things get really exciting, because we're about to introduce the solution, a secret weapon that is perfectly designed for the Indian market.
Meet Sarvam AI. Seriously, this is a total game changer. It's an Indian AI startup, and what they've done is taken that powerful tech behind things like ChatGPT, those large language models, and optimized them specifically for our languages. We're talking fluent, natural-sounding Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, you name it. And this right here shows you exactly why this is so powerful. We've all dealt with those Western AI bots, right? They sound robotic, they completely fail when they hear an Indian accent, and they have zero clue about our local context. But Sarvam AI? It's a whole different story. It was built from the ground up for India, so it's hyper-accurate and just gets it.
Okay, so you've got this incredible technology. How do you actually turn it into a business? Well, that brings us to your agency blueprint. And here's the absolute best part. You do not need to be a coding genius to pull this off. This is a no-code plan for success.
We've boiled it all down into 3 simple, easy-to-manage steps. First, you're going to target the right kind of clients. Second, you build the whole solution using simple drag-and-drop tools. And third, you put the whole thing on autopilot so it just runs itself.
Let's dig into step 1, because this is absolutely critical. See, instead of trying to sell this to everyone, the smart move is to focus on businesses who are really feeling this customer support pain and, importantly, have the budget to pay for a real solution. So, who are these perfect clients?
Let's talk about this client goldmine. Just imagine a coaching institute getting thousands of calls about fees and schedules, or a real estate agency desperate to capture every single lead 24/7. E-commerce stores, even your local shops, they are all drowning in these repetitive questions. They're practically begging for a solution like this.
All right, now for the fun part, the tech. Let's see how this all clicks together without you having to write a single line of code. We're going to look at a super simple but really powerful tech stack that can basically run your entire agency for you.
Okay, let's break this down. You'd use a platform like Loop to design the whole process. It's literally like drawing a flowchart where you can say, if a call is missed, then the Sarvam bot automatically calls them back. It's that easy. Then you can use something like JotForm's AI agents to handle all the standard FAQs on a website. And when you're ready to grow, a tool like Paperclip AI can even help manage your own agency's operations. It's a complete automated system.
So you've got the tech, you've found the clients. Now let's talk about the best part, the money. How do you actually price this service to create a really profitable business? Because this is where the model gets seriously exciting.
So for the initial setup, building out their custom voice bot, hooking it into their systems, and making sure it all runs perfectly, you can charge a big one-time fee. Depending on how complex the job is, you could easily be looking at up to 1 lakh rupees per client.
But listen, this right here is where you build real wealth. Recurring revenue. You charge a monthly maintenance fee to keep their bots updated, running smoothly, and getting smarter. This is what creates that stable, predictable income that lets you sleep at night.
Let's make this super real. With just 5 clients, only 5, paying you a modest 10,000 rupees a month, you are already generating 50,000 rupees in passive income. The bots are doing all the heavy lifting, and you're getting paid.
Now that you see how profitable this can be, I want you to zoom out for a second. Because this isn't just a clever business idea. This is a massive, time-sensitive opportunity. There is a window, right now, to get in on the ground floor before everyone else does.
The hard reality is, the job market is changing incredibly fast. The skill gap you keep hearing about, it's not a myth. You've got huge companies like TCS already laying off thousands because AI can do those tasks faster and better. The key is to be on the side that's building with AI, not competing against it.
So here's your path. It starts today, literally today, by just playing around with these no-code tools and building your first simple bot. But that one small step puts you on a path to owning a thriving agency by 2026, putting you right at the forefront of this AI revolution in India. So the train is leaving the station. The tools are here, the market need is screamingly obvious, and you have the blueprint in your hands. The only question left is, are you going to get on board and actually start building the future?